Unfortunately, we're missing our baby sister today. She in flight, so I'm gonna pass it on over to Bro, and you know who we are.
All right. As we always do at the beginning of our show, we start off with the BOBs. This time we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're gonna spotlight the ones we always do. Needs transportation, American Solar Wind, Face Amore, and then also like we buy black.com, black owned association.com. All those are very important, but we tried to add something fun with it. So I'm going to give it to my sister Sanji because we put together a little commercial everybody did, and she's going to go first.
All right. Hello, everyone. Sanji here. I am going to share my screen. Just a little preface. I am the owner of Face Amore, located in Louisville, Kentucky. And this commercial is going to highlight one of our most popular treatments for collagen remodeling, tightening the skin, stretch marks, just all kinds of things. So here we go. Hi, I'm Sanji Khan with Face Amore, and we're here with my lovely patient Amanda, and we're going to be doing Morpheus 8 today to give her some collagen stimulation and tighten her skin. Yeah.
I don't care. I like it though.
I liked it. But you were speaking. I can hear you talking.
Well, you should. Let us show you how you can save up to 40% on your energy while helping the environment. For more information, check us out on American Solar Wind.
All right, let's check. Here, listen. I'm gonna do the duet one. It's funny though. My energy bill's through the roof.
Really? Well, have you heard of American Solar Wind?
No.
Well, you should. Let me tell you about how you can save up to 40% on your energy while helping the environment.
How?
Well, check us out on our website at americansolarwind.com.
Okay.
You can also give us a call at 817-263-0000.
But do you have an email address?
Absolutely. The email address is ql@americansolarwind.com.
Sounds cool. Thanks. Mine sounds like a high school project, because, I'm not a professional at all, but it is what it is.
Well, hey, it's better than me.
I like the first one. I mean, the first one sounds radio worthy, and the second and the last one sounds good. I just feel like the last one's too long.
They're all under 30 seconds. So I thought that was decent.
The last one that lost my interest. I don't know, but the first one flowed really well.
You're muted. You're muted.
Everything was enunciated well. Enunciation is really important when you're recording a commercial. So I felt like the first one, in terms of the flow and the enunciation, was the best right now.
I appreciate so we're just going to use it and we're going to make it better as we go. You know what I mean? But
see, I actually understood the one you recorded better than hers. Her voice was like nails on a chalkboard for me. That's why I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it after a while. I was like, oh my God. I cannot stand her voice. Something about her voice is just awful. So I liked yours better.
I don't feel like I sounded natural.
I feel like y'all need a smooth voiceover. You need somebody that just puts you in hypnotic trance. You know what I mean? Like she was too shrill and you were too.
Yeah, I sounded robotic a little bit too.
And we need somebody. Just invest. Get somebody. It's somebody you know somebody that's got a real smooth, masculine voice. Yes. I think it's American Solar. People expect men to be working. They want to hear a man. They don't want to hear her.
Okay. All right. I take all that in. I don't see it get better because that took a little work just to make that happen. So I mean,
but honestly, the reason I like the last one the best, the one with y'all together, because somehow y'all's voices toned each other's down. Like, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, so it wasn't so, just in your face. It was kind of like a little
It's a little conversation. Yeah.
and that helped even it out for me. But other than that, yeah, just get a nice smooth. There's a reason why people use Dennis Haybert.
Okay. The same
That brother
voiceover
got a
person.
smooth. That brother's voice is smooth like butter.
I definitely, I mean, there's some part there. I agree with what Kenya is saying to a certain extent, but for me, I felt like the girl. Now maybe her tone could have changed a little bit. I think there was another one that she did that the tone wasn't so high, but
Yeah.
I don't remember which one that was. But I feel like she sounds like Texas to me. You don't. So if American Solar Wind is in Texas, she's the one that needs to be talking. And I trust
or
me.
somebody else from Texas that has a nicer voice. Why does it have to be her? Is she your partner or something?
No.
So it don't have to be her. Just somebody that sounds like Texas. I'm all for that.
Sure.
Not her. Her voice is annoying. And I don't think I think they want Texas. I don't think they think women are the experts on physical labor. It's weird. Like I just didn't like her voice. Maybe that's what I couldn't get past her voice. So honestly, if it was,
Try both of them. Run a female and run a male ad.
I'm gonna say my first problem with the question is the question itself. Like I don't think these are terms. I feel like these aren't terms that we're using in the community. So I don't really have anything to say about them because I don't think it's how we're defining ourselves in women's communities these days.
Okay, so you're taking a challenge, but Nikki is the woman who wrote the question. So say, how is that not? Ask her why. How do you disagree with her?
No. This is me just giving my opinion. I'm not saying this is just like, it's just my opinion.
Okay.
That I don't think this is how we're defining ourselves in our communities these days, that we're not identifying ourselves as feminists or individualists or any of those things. We're just being who we are. It's not defining it. Like I was never, when the reason I'm saying this is when you ask that question, I struggled with it. Like, what am I? Like, I couldn't even answer the question. And so I was like, well, I've never even heard this. Is this how people are defining themselves? And I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. So I don't know. I can't answer it because I don't feel like I fit into those categories. Don't understand.
I got a question because I think either Cassandra, you want to jump in, but otherwise, I could define each one of you guys in these categories. I could probably do that for you, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But Cassandra, you have an opinion on the 3 categories? I can tell you that right now.
What is it? Careerist, feminist, careerist, feminist, and individualist. I mean, I really don't. I guess if you wanted to assign people to categories, you could, but I just don't feel like none of those things I can say that I guess I could be all of them. And whenever the time is right to be that way, or whenever I see the need to do it, it's just being who you are. I just feel like, why title it? I guess no disrespect. It's uninteresting to me because I'm not concerned, because that's not how I think. And so I don't give people titles and things like that. People are just who they are. I'm going to do me, and I respect anyone doing them if they're just being human. Just being human. Their version of human.
Okay, cool. I also think that makes sense because I feel like I've seen each of you guys kind of flow in and out of each of these different states in different situations. So I feel like, when you're in a certain situation with your children, or if you're in a certain situation with a man, or you're in a certain situation by yourself, you make decisions based on all of these categories. But the underlying part of it is usually in society, people find use in a person, like you find value in a person by them fitting in a category as for a need. So if you don't have a profile of the job description, then you don't have a need. You know what I mean? If you can't explain who you are and why you're valuable to the group in a job or in a society or in a family or whatever, then you don't have anything. So that's the reason for the categories, I think. My other opinion on this is that I think that you guys specifically would probably not like it because I think you guys, just from knowing you guys, and I think maybe most women, all women kind of feel like they want to be a unicorn. They want to be, I'm an individual, I'm a perfect one. So somebody got to see that unicorn in me as a woman and they want someone to say that to you. You don't, anybody who tries to put a woman in a box always fails. And that's a very typical thing, I think. So that's the only reason why I feel like this is a hard question or an uninteresting question, because it's not unicornizing you or anyone. It's kind of generalizing, and generalizing is a negative thing normally, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I agree with Kasim. Being feminine is a characteristic, and it doesn't mean that you have to be male or female. There are men with female characteristics. All men possess some female characteristics. They were raised by a woman, they were birthed by one. So they're going to have characteristics like their mother, and she is a female. So does that make them a feminist? I don't think so. So why the titles? Characteristics are things that we learn. They're things about us. They're who we choose to be, behaviors. I feel like masculine characteristics can be male and female too. But I do agree with you. A woman is a female, someone born female. That is what a woman is. So a man can't be a woman. I mean, he can have feminine characteristics, and live his life out more on the feminine side, and that's fine. I'm not against that. But the definition of woman is a human female. Kathleen, is it on your computer?
Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it from somebody playing it. I can hear somebody.
That's me. That's
Go
me.
ahead.
Oh, you want me to
share it?
hold on.
Yes, you can share it.
But I'm playing it on my phone.
Just put your phone up to the camera. Let's watch it.
Show us your phone.
Okay, hold on.
I can do the same, whichever.
Hold on.
Got to get it right.
Oh, it ain't gonna do it. It ain't gonna do that. Okay.
I don't want your number. Because I don't. I'm not interested. All right, but you already know I'm trying. It does not matter what you want. I don't want to fuck, so no. Bruh, come on now. No. Can you get off me? Nah, what are you touching me for? No, I'm not. I'm not interested. You're not my type. Like, you're not fucking Beyonce, bitch. Don't sit right here and try to play me like that, bro. You're not. You're asking me for something, right? You're asking me, right? Bitch, let me clear this up. I'm only fucking here because my mother keeps asking me to have a baby. For real. So don't give all that. Just take me to fuck home. I don't even care. Do you got a lighter? Because I need to smoke my cigarette. You can catch the bus. That's why I can't do cunts. They do too fucking much. And then when you smoke, that's a surprise. Look, just take my number.
Now that was the video. That was funny to me because of how he switched up so quick. You know what I mean? And we talking about masculine and
There were
feminine.
so many red flags in that video that I think that could trigger women in a different way than you thought it was funny. The last thing I saw in that video was anything funny.
Okay, go ahead. Describe
Nothing
it.
funny about that. It's just rusty, dusty, sounded like he's high, illiterate bum in her car. And so my first question was, how did this bum end up there? That's my first question. Like, how did he get there? Choices. Yeah. So he's sitting in your car and now you videoing how dusty he is. But I guarantee you, most of that dust was there when you met him. So you making fun of him now just to show the world, because he ended up being more
Being
dusty
a
than you thought it
homosexual.
was.
Yeah.
And now you're going to expose him to the world. But I guarantee you a lot of that dust was there when she met him. So it doesn't compute with me. So that whole thing was trash on her and him. And that's going to sound bad to some people, but I'm like, yeah, the stuff he was talking was real kind of rapey shit. It was bad, right? But I'm sitting here, literally, I couldn't get past the fact that this dude was in her vehicle. Like, how did he get there? He don't even seem like somebody that should have passed the muster.
It all
He don't seem.
staged. It was staged.
Yeah, it
was staged. Okay.
Staged to me because again, you know, how did you just play this? Y'all got this back and forth script going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just was way too staged because as soon as he would have started talking trash, he would have got popped in the mouth. You know what I'm saying?
We know you. I just couldn't get past the dust. I was like, your ass needs to get out of my car.
It was just weird. I mean, what first of all, what sissy is gonna be talking like that?
No, what confused me at the beginning.
Now, what brought you to the, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
what brought you to the point that, you know, in the beginning he was a guy that,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's
hetero
like that? That doesn't even make sense.
Right, but by the end he seemed like someone that was either bi or
very, very, very showing all his feminine characteristics.
Correct.
Yeah,
that didn't make sense.
It was funny. I thought, well, I guess it's not funny.
That part of it was what was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Is that he was being so pushy about having sex with her that you thought he was literally this hyper, you know, masculine man, right?
Right.
He was being like toxic levels masculinity, right?
Absolutely.
And then when he flips it at the end, you're like, wait a minute, he's gay, and you know what he's suggesting is really that was all a role. That was him pretending to be hetero.
Yeah.
Which
I
isn't funny because somehow, whether people realize it or not, that's a knock on hetero men, right? That he
really is.
He can play this role so well that we would never know that you're not really gay. Like that, the whole thing. That's why I said the whole thing was trash. You know, I got that mind right now, right? I got that mind right now. So I'm gonna look deep into everything because you know I see beyond the matrix. That's my.
I think the whole pun was the fact that it was in Atlanta. You know, it's saying they got these dudes out here pretending to be dudes, but they really chicks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was supposed to be.
That was a piece too.
So I see the humor. I see the humor in that because that's a real situation. You know what I'm saying? That is a real situation in Atlanta. So the humor in that, yeah, but we all know ain't no dudes I don't think that dudes are going around being that masculine, the extreme of aggressive male characteristic to all the way to child please. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. Plus, ain't no dude. It's, believe it or not, it's women out there who will willingly sleep with gay men thinking they can turn him in some way. So I'm telling you that I don't think it would be, no gay man would really be trying to force themselves on a woman because they don't like women, one. And if it was what he said it was, which is he could have a baby, there's women that would willingly have a baby with gay people.
Absolutely.
Wow. Really? Okay.
Yes.
In 4? Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Because there are some women that don't have a problem with that. They're like, hey, I'm bi too. You can go do your thing and I'm gonna do my thing. So that arrangements can be made. Just the whole thing was just trash. I couldn't.
Now this kind of ties into our second part because the second part we talk about is masculinity. So that's why I thought this was kind of a funny transition because he displayed a lack of masculinity and actually a trick of masculinity, which is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So in your opinions, I want to kind of figure out what is the traits of masculinity, you know, from strengths, courage, independence, leadership, assertiveness, those kind of things. How do you perceive masculinity when you look at a man? What is the most important things?
For me, I think that men should definitely be stronger than women. Physically stronger. That's one. That's a definite one. God made it that way. Women and men are built differently. So that is one that's factual, not how I think. But I also think that men should not be as emotional as women are. I think that men need to be able to overcome several things and not be as emotional. They need to be leaders. That to me, leadership, I don't want to say leadership is a masculine characteristic, but I think that leadership should be more of a masculine characteristic. Now, remember, I said women and men can both have both.
Absolutely.
Feminine characteristics and masculine, but I do think that men should possess that more so than what a woman does.
Okay.
Hello, just wanted to do a little video and introduce myself. Let me see if I can put this better. My name is Kenya. I am 49 years old. I am divorced. I have 3 children, all boys, 18, 13, and 7. I am 5 feet tall, but, not, petite, curvy petite. Let me see if I can do a visual of the body. Yeah, there we go. So this is what my body looks like. Let's see what else. I consider myself agnostic, so I am not religious. I love things I enjoy doing, traveling, both domestically, but more importantly, internationally right now for me is a passion. I love binge watching TV shows. I love good movies. I really love music. I listen to all kinds of music. But right now, I'm really into listening to Afro beats, but I listen to rap, hip hop. I mostly am just a laid back person. I'm an introvert, so I would just say I'm better off kind of one-on-one than in crowds. Some of the things I enjoy doing, playing mini golf, going to see live comedy shows, live bands like in bars. I'm not a big drinker. I am not a smoker. Trying to think of anything I'm missing. What do people normally say in that? But yeah, that's a little bit about me. So nice to meet you.
Describe masculinity, and if you're looking for masculinity, because we really need to know this about you anyway. So if you're looking for it in your personal life, how do you want it to be reflected?
I don't think I'd have to give this some thought. And the reason why I say that is because I guess I don't think of it in terms of masculinity as much as I just think of it in terms of what I'm looking for in their character. I don't want to be, I'm not the person that's going to put masculinity in a box.
Okay.
There's certain things, like I definitely wouldn't.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm going to say it.
Say it.
I don't think that attraction to other men is masculine.
Okay.
So there's something.
Now, you know, it's some tough ass stud dudes out there though. It's some tough ass gay dudes. But hey, but I can understand. I don't think that's masculine either. It's just weird. But
who does? Expand on that. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
I just think that part for me in my mind, and that's why I was hesitant to say it, because it's not popular opinion, but in my mind, part of masculinity in its chemical form, biologically, it is that drive to reproduce, and you reproduce with women. You cannot reproduce with another man. It is biologically impossible. Okay, so if you don't have that drive to reproduce with women, I feel like that is just a lower level of testosterone, if you will, or
Masculinity.
which is kind of the DNA coded masculinity thing, right?
Mhm.
And we'll get to the fact that, you know, women have testosterone and stuff like that, but I do think it's just, I don't see that as fully masculine. In other words, I could not be with a man who was sexually attracted to men.
Okay. Yeah.
That wouldn't be fully masculine to me.
Well, that's a good deal breaker. That's a good deal breaker. What else you got? What else is masculine other than that?
I think leadership is part of masculinity to me. I feel a mature man, and that's why I said I'm struggling with the word masculine, because boys can still be masculine or not masculine, and I don't have the same expectation from a boy as I do from a man, right?
Absolutely.
So all of this is just in terms of men. Let's level set that, because that's what the
Doesn't
masculine
mean
term,
one thing though.
masculine term keeps throwing me off, because little boys, I mean, you know, I got a house full of boys.
Mhm.
and they some masculine boys. So they're kids. So kids just lump into a big kid category to me, and then there's grown folks. So
Right.
grown
For
men,
masculinity.
that's leadership, that's accountability, that's maturity. And I say leadership first because I feel like a true strong leader that is a man, he has to have some of those other traits I mentioned. He won't be a strong leader without them. If he doesn't know how to be accountable, if he doesn't know how to take responsibility, if he isn't mature, it is going to be impossible for him to be a good leader, in my opinion. So that's masculine too, because I do expect men to be leaders. And
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
another thing that's not popular, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
I don't, especially not popular in this day and age. I don't think it's natural for men to want women to take care of them financially.
It's not natural.
I don't think it's natural.
Yeah.
So I do feel like a man that willingly not only accepts a woman just providing for him, but further looks for it or asks for it or expects women to do so, that's just not a masculine man to me.
Let me add in there. That part is very interesting, because I think we touched on this the first episode we had, on the first very episode, because I had discussed that I went out with this chick and she paid for everything, and it was kind of an odd situation. I think that's something that's forced, especially me being somewhat newly in the streets like this, is that's something that's forced on men at this point. And if you've been out here a long time, where you run into so many women who put themselves in that position, I could see how it becomes a habit. It actually put me off. You know, it put me in a mindset. I was like, oh, this bill's $150. She just paid it like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Like, those kind of things are slightly emasculating to the man. So it puts you off. You might have had a great time, and then all of a sudden it gets to that point, and she thinks it's a flex, and it's actually a negative for her. You know what I'm saying? Without her even knowing. You know what I mean? Because that society has got that a little bit twisted.
We did have this conversation in the first episode, because I remember saying, but there's a whole group of men who want women to do that. That's the problem. That's the part that's confusing to women. is that there's a whole group of men who I meet them all the time. I'm in the dating market. I meet them all the time. I can't tell you how many people say things like, well, dating is good or whatever. I just want her to, I want to be with somebody who just knows how, when it's they turn, tit for tat, we can, they don't say those words, but basically they want you to pick up the check sometimes. And their mind, and their mind is thinking like this. And I get it. Their mind is thinking, well, we're dating each other. So, but my thing is, that is fine and good as long as you want to be equal to your woman. The problem is a lot of men want it equal when it comes to finances, but then they still want you to be submissive in every other form. And I say that is those two ideas are conflicting ideas. You can't treat her as an equal financially if you don't want her to be your equal. Because I can tell you, in our world, things are measured financially. Success is measured financially. Whether you're an adult, whether you're responsible, so many things are measured financially. So if you put her in a position to be your equal financially, she will not bow down to you. You are her equal in her eyes, and she's going to treat you that way. And any woman for the most part, and I ain't going to speak for all women, there's surely some women that are exceptions, but most women, that is how they're thinking. We're equals. If we're both paying, we're equals. So don't come at me with this submission bullshit, because that's for men to provide.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Nikki, you agree with that too?
Yes.
I agree with that. I definitely, there's a huge thing that I think is a really big misconception that women have. And this is going to sound weird too, but the misconception is that finances don't make you equal. Protection is what makes you not equal. Because if we're equal financially, that's what it is. I don't normally do that, but I would be okay with it. But I'm saying, finances, what I'm saying is basically, if we running down the street and a dog runs after both of us,
I thought we were
if I let the dog chew your ass up, you just slow. You just too slow. That would be something on me. That would make me less of a man. So protection is number one.
I agree with that.
We're never going to be equal. So that's why I asked y'all before I said something, because there's no protection, got to come first. And that's a 24-hour job. Even though it looked like the man lion just laying in the sun all day, when his something go down, he got to get his ass up. And you don't. You have the ability to run away. You can run away. Yeah,
I agree
it's not
with
the
that.
same thing at all.
I agree with that. Protection is a big one. Protection is a big one. It is. But
it's 24/7. There's no time off.
But it's not at the expense of provision. They go together. They are partners in crime. They are married. They are happily married for hundreds of thousands of years. Those two things go together. True. Both of those roles are for the man.
Provision is different, because I gave this example a couple of weeks ago too, or maybe a couple of months ago, whatever we've been doing this long. I had given some stuff to this homeless dude that I got a double DoorDash, and I got the stuff from the homeless, and he immediately took it to his chick, because provision has to come somehow, no matter what finances you have. Provision comes from being able to provide whatever you have to the woman you choose. So that's different too. It ain't financial.
Agree. No. Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. And you actually said something, and I don't remember if it was the last podcast or a couple ago, that I wanted to tell you I agreed with on.
Okay.
And it was, you said something about the problem is these dudes are pursuing these women, and maybe I said something, these dudes were pursuing these women out of their league. But essentially we were saying the same thing, that's where some of the problems come in, where dudes calling women gold diggers and all this. I'm like, because if you would have, you said it, because you said some girl, he needs to get the fry cook or the retail. That guy that's making the average $45,000 a year. You know, the average salary of a Black male in the United States, based on the census, is $45,000 a year. So what that $45,000 a year man should be doing is looking for women who make $30,000 a year or less. Guess what? Because $45 is a lot more money to them than 30.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to mess with that women that's making $75,000, you broke to her. You're broke to her. She, you know, she's already out earning you. There's really, in her mind, not anything you can really do for her. So it goes both ways. Like the protection is, I have to say, I'm sorry to say, but that's a given, right? That should be a given. That's not even something we need to discuss or talk about. I'm not going to be with no man that I don't think can and will protect me, period.
That's a level of respect you have for yourself. That ain't got nothing to do with the man, because men, the streets is hard out here nowadays. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess I'm thankful that I don't fool with no man who ain't gonna look out.
Yeah.
I think I understand Kenya's perspective, but I also understand your perspective, Kasim. I think there's a lot of things that go into this. This is like not, you guys are talking about one side of things, but really and truly, humans have basic needs. I know you guys have heard of Maslow. You know what those basic human needs are. As long as those needs are being met, you know, and everybody has different needs, but as long as, you know, in general, there's 5 basic needs that people have. And if it's being met, I don't think that financial or, you know, I think your financial needs being met is relative to the individual. Your protection needs being met is relative to the individual. I don't think that it's one-sided. You both are right. You both have different needs. And so I understand both, you know, and I disagree. I don't think that I mean, for some women, yes, financially their man needs, in order for him to meet their needs, he needs to make more, you know, but there are some women who don't. And that doesn't mean that their needs aren't being met because their husband or their boyfriend or whomever makes less than them.
Agreed.
That's totally okay. You know, for the men who have women who take care of them and who pay the bills or whatever, then those men their needs are being met. And maybe that woman's needs are being met from him in whatever way she needs that to be met. And so everybody's different.
Right.
You know,
and that's why I was saying, that's why I prefaced it by saying, this is just my opinion. I definitely am not putting that, he asked my opinion and I was hesitant.
Yeah.
Nikki, what you got to say on that, Nick?
But it's mine.
Well, my thought was, you know, like I said, you know, when I brought up these topics, you know, I did the research and I was thinking, you know, in the terms of masculinity, what were they saying that the 4 principles was? So they were saying that, you know, males are born while men actually are forged. So this was saying that technically just because you were born a male or a boy didn't mean that you would be a man per se. A father and son are talking to each other and the child asks his dad, what does he want to be when he grow up? And the dad simply responds, I want to be a man. But the son is confused. What do you mean? Not a lawyer, not a doctor, not an actor, just a man. He says, I just want to be a man. And the son says, well, what do you mean every boy is a man? And the dad said, no, that is not true. Every boy isn't a man. And his dad said, a man takes care of himself and his responsibilities. His family is always first. And from that day forward, the boy said what he aspired to be is a man. So in that context, it goes back to the fact that, you know, men should be providing, professing, and protecting. And that's
okay. Let's go this route though. What do you think men's positions in the, you know, in family and society should be, or are they correct the way you think they're displayed in our society right now? And we could take this to being a Black society or just American society in general. Either way.
I want to go back to something Sanji said because I want to be clear. I agree that it's very individual. So what I gave my opinion earlier, that was my opinion. But one of the things I should say, what do you think it should be? I think it should be whatever works for those people in their family. I know what it needs to be for me.
Yeah, now
it's going to be different.
Yeah. Okay. Because Sanji said that kind of throws the conversation off. we know that everything is everybody's opinion. So we
Right.
don't have to state that. We know that this, you know, that this is basically, when you say someone's position, we're going to be generalizing. If we
Right.
don't generalize, we don't have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So everybody's situation is going to be different. We want to how your circle or our family or your general circle of friends, what are their situations that you see? You don't have to be specific about the people, but just, you know, this is what it is from what I see, you know. So that, you know, because the position in society, especially in the Black community right now, is, I think I sent y'all this thing, or maybe we didn't talk about it, I don't think, but I think I sent you where it said, had some little Asian lady talking about the highest rate of men who take care of their children in the United States is Black. Did I send that to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, there is
Okay.
a article.
Yeah.
Yes. That
Yeah.
Black fathers are the most active fathers,
Yes.
the most involved fathers.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's why understanding the position, not the perception, the position of the men in society, is it right or is it where it should be, or do we know what that is? Because perception is that Black men in the worldwide perception is that we ain't shit, and we have babies and we just let them go, let the babies do whatever they do, and it's the mama's problem. That's the perception for sure.
Can I present another perspective that is not part of
Go
the
ahead.
article? This would be perfectly my own opinion, but remember, I do research for a living. So
Yeah.
sometimes I see stuff like that and I see what's missing. And what's missing is we don't know, we just know there's a difference. We don't know why, right? So
Okay.
think about it this way. If most of us know in traditional homes, not modern, but traditionally in the past, our parent generation and further back, predominantly it was the woman's role to take care of kids, right?
Yeah.
But people were in 2-parent households. So there was a balance there, right? Mom and dad were both in the house, but mom just took more responsibility for the children. She took care of the kids, right?
Oh, you're saying the correlation is less
70%
provision.
70% of babies in the Black community are born to single mothers. So there is not 2 parents in the home. There's 1 parent in the home. So in order for the child to spend time with that other parent, which is typically the father, that's going to typically require that parent to do the full parenting for that time, because those parents aren't together. So they're not parenting together. They don't have anybody to share with, to pass off to any of those things. So of course they're more involved, because when just traditionally, when there were 2 parents in the home, that work went to the woman. It just did. So fathers didn't have to do it. And in most communities, it's still that way. It's getting better, but it's still that way. We don't see it as much in our community because, well, we don't live like that. We have 70% of our babies in single family households. So there's no father in the household. There's nobody to share the load. So when the father does get the child, he's spending more quality one-on-one time with that child because the mother isn't there to do everything.
Right.
That's understandable. I worry about, you know, I worry about that because how do you change that then? Because is that a problem of, it's not a child problem, it's a parenting situation, or it's an adult problem. So how does that change? How do you fix that? You know, is it toxic femininity that's keeping the men out of the home?
Or toxic masculinity that's keeping men out of the home.
Let's go.
Right.
Let's go. we don't want to get in there. We don't want to get in there.
One another. I mean, maybe, right?
Let me just put this to you. Do you think Jada Pinkett has toxic femininity? Let's just put it to something that we can tangibly make.
Can we agree?
Yes
on
or
a
no?
definition
Hell
for
yeah.
toxic femininity?
Hell yeah.
Can we agree on a definition for toxic femininity first, though?
Exactly. Yes.
She may be an extreme example, but I would say, okay, use
I'm
her
only
as an
using an
example.
extreme example. Yeah.
She's an
We're only
extreme
talking an
example.
extreme. She's extreme, yes.
Yes.
So, but as extreme as Jada Pinkett is, it makes it sound like toxic masculinity is broad, but toxic femininity is a minute, small thing.
Well, we didn't define toxic masculinity.
The fact that Tasanji said earlier she would have smacked that dude in the mouth, that's toxic femininity, because that nigga, he's come in here beat your ass. She'll beat your ass.
First of all, that, okay?
Man.
Because if the nigga's feminine, he may not have that much masculinity in him. It's some chicks that will whoop your ass. Let's keep it true. you know, we ain't gonna go there, costume, but I'm sure the chick can whoop your ass.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
Christy didn't hear that ass before. Shoot.
No, real talk. That I may have allowed something to pass, but shit, Layla Ali couldn't whoop my ass. Ain't a woman on this earth that can whoop my ass. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
Layla Ali can whoop your ass.
I'll knock that chick out in 3 minutes. Period. Period. No question.
I like the confidence. I think
it ain't the confidence. That's not even confident.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, I honestly feel like that's how men should think. I like that. That's very masculine. You shouldn't think anybody can beat you. Because that gets in your head, right? How you gonna play the protector role if you scared of who might be able to beat you? You gotta believe you can beat them all, man.
Yeah. Let me comment on this. Costume, I understand what you mean. Physically, a man is stronger than a woman. But honey, you didn't watch Bruce Lee, because fighting and being able to whoop somebody's ass is mental. If you're smarter, you can whoop somebody's ass. I don't care how big they is. That dude would have got hurt in the car with the right one, baby. Okay.
Let me tell you, we've obviously all seen Big Berthas out there beating up niggas. Big Berthas can beat up niggas. Yeah, you find you a Big Bertha, she can beat up a dude. It happens.
Bruce Lee could beat up the biggest of people. You know who Bruce Lee is?
Yeah, I know who Bruce Lee is. Little 120-pound dude. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna get these questions together and kind of put an agenda together so we can get it into the next session or the next episode. But for the fun little ending here, Kenya, I picked the guy that I want you to go on a date with. So, and I've already talked to him about it. I already got things set up. What we really need to do, though, I need to make sure that Costume's graduation is the 21st on a Sunday. Okay. I need you to be here on Friday the 19th, or Friday, Saturday. You know, we got to kind of figure out if that's possible. Okay. And in the meantime, I think Tasanji and Shaipu and Nikki are going to try to get a couple other dates for that same weekend. Absolutely. So we can kind of put that together. But I already got it set up, so I already got it ready for you. So it's going to be interesting. You know?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm ready now. I put out some little feelers myself.
I really was not expecting anything, to be honest. Not as a knock against y'all, but I just thought this ain't really gonna happen, right? So,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
We're gonna work it out for you. You know, it takes time to get something good.
No, I'm just saying I wasn't pressed or anything, so I was like, this ain't gonna. It was more like just fun to me, just funny. But this is now I'm like,
yeah, it's gonna happen. So so that's all in the works, and it's you should definitely have a good time that weekend in Dallas. You're gonna have a lot of things going on. So
yeah, well, I'm bringing my kiddo with me, so
yeah, that's what's up.
I got you.
Oh, he ain't gonna want to hang with me.
No, him and Kasim just gonna go do whatever they do. And we'll find some stuff to do for sure.
Yeah. Right.
Before and after. Let's have a quick discussion. What does that mean to you? What does that mean?
Well, the way it's been promoted is it's some mostly, not all, but
Western guys going.
That's what it said. Mostly Black men, but a group of men. It's not mostly Black.
No, white people been doing this. When Black people start doing the same shit, they turn into a Black thing.
Started calling the passport bros was Black though.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about men that's been getting mail order brides and stuff like that for 50 years.
Yeah.
I'm talking about passport bros.
Okay.
So this whole big movement, because this has all been post Kevin Samuels. That's why I'm saying this ain't right.
Okay.
This is mostly Black men who have decided that they are going to divest themselves of American Black women. and they are going to look for wife material in other countries.
Absolutely.
Now, please let me know if you get any flack back about my definition, because I definitely try to keep that as neutral as possible. So I hope.
Yeah, I don't like the
there was nothing
divest
offensive.
term, but
Huh?
it's okay. I don't
You don't
like
like
the
what term?
divest term, but it's okay.
Okay, what would you call it? I'm serious, because I made that up. I mean, that
No,
was the shortest way
pretty
to
accurate.
explain it.
It's pretty.
That's pretty accurate. I mean, I feel like first off, I've been asked that because I'm going to DR the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, the weekend after my costumes graduation, just for the weekend. And that's every woman I talk to, they always be like, hey, so you going there to find a wife? You going there to pass? I'm like, no, I'm just going on a trip.
See?
So it's heavily in single women's mindset right now, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but to me, that should be a sign that you need to change. It's not, women ain't taking it like that. They taking it like it's offensive. But there has to be a reason why men would go.
Is it not offensive? Is it not?
No, it's not offensive. You should. That means it's just something. There's a deficiency in you that men don't want.
Is
Oh,
there?
that
No,
sounds offensive.
Is there?
No, it's not. Men, listen, you could tell a man, hey, you're too fat. Hey, you that shirt you wear is ugly. Hey, I don't like them pants. Men take that same criticism and they change and they become better. It's not offensive. It is a criticism, and you should be. Women should take it as that.
Okay.
Not to be offensive.
So we should take it as a criticism.
Yeah, of your behavior. Yes.
Of our behavior, which
Correct.
should not be offended about, and make changes.
Whatever the criticism is. No, because like I said, men take the criticism from women every day. I seen Mike walk around in the back of that the kitchen a few times. If Tasaji said something about him, he gonna change a little bit for it. Men are very moldable for their family, not career-wise, because the men's purpose is different. But if the family needs it, I think men, especially if you're in a family, that men will mold to what the family needs. That same thing for women is a lot less currently. Before, I believe women did mold themselves a little bit around the man and the family as needed, but it's a lot less now. The independent idea of, there's no such thing as an independent man. There is a boss chick independent woman, and that actually breeds the need for a passport bro, because that woman is not, is not for him.
So here's the thing.
Tasanji froze because she's been sitting like that for a minute.
I think my biggest, I can't see her, so remember, I just see the view, so I don't know.
It's not moved, right?
Go ahead, I'm listening, Bear. I mean, go ahead, I'm listening, Kenya.
I don't think that was. I think that view right there, you actually captured it. Okay, so that's exactly what I hear. It's basically a movement that says something is wrong with American Black women, so wrong that we are no longer going to deal with that. We're just going to go get women elsewhere.
Hold on one second. Can I say one thing before you go for it? Because let's take that Black woman out of there. Because before, a lot of it's not Black women. It's all Western women, American, white, Mexican.
I'm talking about passport bros, though.
No, passport bros. Passport bros be the same dude. No. What I'm saying is, the same passport bros would be the same dude that go get a white chick. If white chicks in America were better, they're not. It's American women or Western women in general. It ain't about going to get a foreign chick because the foreign chick looks better or is physically better or anything. It's about an attitude and a mindset. And that means that the white chicks, the Mexican chicks, the Hispanic chicks, the Asian chicks here, they have the fucked up mindset too, or these guys would just go get them. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, because I agree. So let me try. I'm trying to build on what I said, because now you literally teleported me back to our very first conversation. And you said something in that conversation. It was the end of the conversation, though, so I didn't say anything to it, but it stuck with me. You said, well, y'all the ones that keep changing. Men haven't changed for hundreds of years or something. You said something like that, right?
Okay.
And I heard that, and then I said, okay. And then I laughed, and let me tell you why I laughed when I thought about it later, because I said, that's the problem.
Yes, you do. Get out here and play it.
That's the problem. And that men don't realize that them not evolving. We are human beings who have evolved. You even brought up industrial and Paleozoic, all the way from caves to now. Times have changed, environment has changed, things have changed, women have changed. Men refuse to change and then get mad that it's almost like those people. If you ever read the book Who Moved My Cheese,
I read Who Moved My Cheese. Yeah,
it is really this is a very real thing. People have a resistance to change naturally, right? So it talks to you about how to deal with change, right?
yeah.
And I feel like these arguments that are coming in a nutshell are exactly that. Men didn't want anything to change, but the world has been changing around them, and everybody's changed but them. And so I get the attraction to go to places where, let's face it, they're called developing nations for a reason. They are not advanced as we are. They're not at our stage yet. They're not at our stage yet.
I agree with that.
So it's like going back in time. So
Okay.
yes, you can go get a traditional woman over there because they haven't advanced as we have, right? We've evolved. They're just in a slower evolution phase. They're in an earlier phase than we are, right?
Yep.
And so that's the problem. That is the problem. The men refuse to change. And it's also why women are outpacing men educationally now. Women are catching up professionally because we keep evolving and changing with the environment, and y'all refuse to.
Nikki, Kenyon, let me give it to you honestly. Honestly, I love that your opinion is so passionate, but what you created, and I love that you're passionate about. But I'm saying what you created is a situation where men have changed. That video I sent you with the gay dude that flipped it on her, literally, men have changed. You don't like the change that they made. That's the problem. You want to be women want to be the boss. They want to run things. They want to run everything. And then they also want you to take care of them. That actually doesn't match up. So the changes that women have made are negative changes for society. As simple as that. So the men refusing to change are actually doing the right thing because it doesn't work in society. So if you want a more effeminate man, keep going on the path that you're on. If you stay on the path that you're on right now, the men, exactly what you say you don't want in a man is what you're getting. So we talked earlier about men who expect the woman to come and pay for dinner and she got to know it's her turn and blah, blah, blah. That is the result of the changes that women have made. Women run society. I'm not going to play games with it. I'm okay with knowing that women completely run society. Society is built for women because I don't need all this shit. Women need all this stuff to function properly. The police force, the fire stations, the all that other stuff. All that stuff is to make a comfortable setting so I can get a woman, so a man can get a woman. But if women didn't require all that shit, then men wouldn't do it.
We wanted y'all to do that, but y'all didn't do it. So then we went and did it to prove that you can do it. Because guess what? If I can do it, if little old me can do it, surely you can do it because you're a man, you're a leader, you're stronger, you're these things. But no. Instead, y'all said, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me sit back here and be the woman now," because that's what it is.
And that's the proof.
And I don't think, and so I'm saying I agree with you. It was an unintended consequence of that, right? And I'm not even saying everything that happened and all the choices women made were perfect, because clearly there are things that are broken. My problem is that for whatever reason, modern men get in their head that all of the problems are modern women. But some of the problems, without accepting any accountability for the part of the problem that's them, and the part of the problem that's them is that if you're leaders, the way you're naturally intended to do, then you have to take responsibility for it falling apart. Because at one point you were in charge. Who was in charge? Your mama leaves you babysitting and she come home and the kid done broke their leg. Who was in charge? Who was in charge? You were in charge. So guess who gets in trouble? You. You get in trouble because you were in charge. And y'all as men failed at your leadership and let it go off the rails.
I'm gonna pull that back. We had this conversation a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you like this, that's not true. Literally from the beginning of Black Americans being in this society. First, I believe Black Americans are Aboriginal. I believe we had more of a matriarchy from the beginning. So I don't believe at all, there was never a patriarchy for Black men in America, period. So what you're saying is true.
We live in a patriarchy. That's what Black men, I've heard this one before too. And I have to back you up to that. I'm like, come on. You live.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
The United States of America is ran by men. It is a patriarchy.
I know I said this to y'all before. The United States of America is run by white men, Black women, white women, and so
you could have stopped at white men.
No, I don't need to stop because we're not equal. We're not. No, you're not listening. We are not.
But I never said Black men. That was my point. I said we live in a patriarchy. United States is a patriarchy because it's run by who? Men.
No, you're not, dude. Men. Okay, we got to get on this and finish real quick because what I'm saying is, it's not a patriarchy. It may be a white patriarchy. You have to put the white. If you don't put it white in there, then it don't matter because our society, American society, is run by white men, then Black women. Black women. You're confused. Everybody else is below that. So
okay, well, let me say this.
You're not listening. No, you're not listening.
Let me say this. This is something that I found in a study that they said that, that feminists are not inevitable or even natural, but are reflective, adapting and expanding so as to make women's lives livable within the masculine culture. So of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, the type of dynamics that is in our culture today that says it is masculine, we as women just adapt to it. We just live in it.
Thank you so much for joining us again and another episode of Sibling Circle. I thank you for joining us. Tune in next time as we'll be back surely to speak on the themes of our culture, the signs of the times, and giving our opinion in the Sibling Circle to build and empower our community. Until next time, take care. Peace.